Today I am going to be showing you how to make some soft and tender coriander chapati, and I love when I get to make chapati because the ingredients are always minimal, so the recipe is budget friendly. Over here I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and the key ingredient is coriander. Also I have some sugar and salt to season my chapati, warm water and some cooking oil. That is all. I'm going to start off by adding some sugar and salt. Stir in. Once the sugar and salt is fully dissolved into the water, I'm going to give my water a taste. Always make sure that the salt and sugar are balancing. So mine is perfect. I'm going to keep this aside. To my bowl, I'm going to be adding in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Then using my fingertips, I'm going to rub in the cooking oil into the all-purpose flour until it resembles little clumps of flour. Once done, I'm going to add in my coriander, which I've finely chopped. Toss the coriander into the all-purpose flour. This is how my flour is looking like at this point. So next I'm going to add in 2 cups of lukewarm water in intervals. Using my fingertips, I'm going to mix the water with the all-purpose flour. Make sure to scrape the bottom of the bowl so that all the all-purpose flour can be fully combined in the dough. As you need, the dough is going to be a little bit sticky, so you can sprinkle in some all-purpose flour as you need until you get some soft and elastic dough. That is going to take around 5 minutes of kneading. And if your dough is a little bit dense, you can add in a tablespoon of water at a time until the dough turns out soft and very elastic. After kneading for around 5 minutes, this is how the dough is looking like, and as you can see, it's not sticky at all. Next, I'm going to add in another 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Slowly, I'm going to mix in the cooking oil into the dough until fully combined. Make sure to stretch the dough as you mix in the cooking oil. This step is going to make the dough very soft and elastic. Then I'm going to knead for another 3 to 4 minutes. After kneading, you're going to rest the dough for around 10 to 20 minutes before proceeding to the next step. This is how the dough looks like at this point, and it's very soft. So I'm going to sprinkle in some all-purpose flour to my countertop. Next, I'm going to transfer my dough. Knead for an extra 1 minute. Then next you're going to pick your dough and tuck the dough in the middle just like I'm doing. And then I'm going to sprinkle in some more all-purpose flour. Spread some more on my dough, and using a rolling pin, I'm going to roll out the dough. Make sure to add in enough all-purpose flour to your surface because you don't want the dough to stick. I absolutely love how the dough looks like because you can spot the coriander. This is going to make very awesome chapatis. So you'll push the dough until it's thin. Once done, you're going to spread in some cooking oil. So I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, and using the palm of my hands, I'm going to spread the cooking oil on the dough. Make sure to go to the edges also. The next step is to cut my dough into strips. So using a pizza cutter, I'm going to cut my dough. And because the dough is soft and elastic, it's going to be easy for you to roll the dough into a spiral shape, just like I'm doing. I'm going to place aside as I roll. A quick tip for you, spreading the cooking oil on the dough is going to be the trick to making layered chapati. I'm rolling the last piece of dough. I'm done rolling my dough, and this is how the dough is looking like. So the next step is to cook my chapati. So I'm going to place a pan over medium heat, and as the pan and as the chapati pan is getting hot, I'm going to be rolling out my dough. So I'm going to sprinkle in some all-purpose flour on my countertop and place my dough. Using the palm of my hands, I'm going to press down a little bit, spreading the dough as I press. Next, I'm going to pick my rolling pin and roll out the dough. The trick to making round chapati is to spread the dough vertically and horizontally using your rolling pin. Also, because the dough is very elastic, it's going to be very easy for you to push the dough without the dough tearing. Once my pan is hot, I'm going to transfer the dough on top and let the dough cook. Pick my next piece of dough, sprinkle in some all-purpose flour, press down. Also make sure to sprinkle enough all-purpose flour on your countertop because you don't want the dough to stick on the countertop. Roll out the dough while flipping in between. This step is usually very significant when making chapati because the outcome will depend on how you rolled out the dough. So as you roll out the dough, make sure to evenly distribute the dough so that you get evenly cooked chapati. If a chapati cracks in the middle, that means that you rolled out the dough thin in the middle. So make sure to push the dough slowly and with a lot of care so that the dough can be evenly distributed. When you notice some lovely golden brown color on your dough, just like this, the dough is ready. So I'm going to place aside and place the next. I love making chapati during the weekends because the kids are usually at home and they absolutely love chapati. If you notice air pockets in the dough while cooking, it means that the dough was kneaded to perfection and you're going to have some awesome chapatis. The first step of cooking my chapati is ready and the chapatis are looking so awesome. So the next step is to oil my chapatis and I'm going to be cooking in batches. So I'm going to pick around 4 chapatis, place on my hot pan, and this step is usually very fast, so you have to be on your toes. I'm going to add in some cooking oil around the chapati and spin the chapati as it cooks. I'm using a paper over here because I don't want to burn my fingers. Flip. Awesome. I'm using medium low flame because I don't want to add in very dark spots. Flip my top chapati. And spin around so that I get some awesome spots. Flip. Perfect. And you can see the chapati is super flaky. Just look at that. The next chapati is ready. Spread in some cooking oil and spin around. If you can't oil 4 chapatis, you can try out 2, just like this one. Awesome. Just look at that. Placing my next batch of chapati. Spread some cooking oil. Once you're done cooking the chapati, you're going to cover with a kitchen towel to trap the steam so that the chapati can remain soft. This is after making my chapatis, and this is how the chapatis look like. You can see they're very flaky and full of layers. Just look at that. Also, they're very soft. You can see how flaky the chapati is, and also you can spot the coriander on the inside. This is a recipe worth trying because the coriander chapati have turned out very perfect and amazing and full of flavor. Also, the salt and sugar is well balanced, so the chapati is super delicious. Hope you'll be trying out this coriander chapati recipe.